Number 1. This 1989 Ford Tempo GL sedan represents a kind of honest, forgotten era of American daily drivers. The type of car that never tried to be flashy or overpromise, but instead showed up every single day and did exactly what it was supposed to do. Priced at just $1,200 and located in Suffolk, Virginia, this red-on-red sedan carries 110,545 miles, which for a late 80s Ford commuter car is a surprisingly reasonable number. It's powered by a gasoline engine paired with an automatic transmission, making it an easy, no-hassle car for anyone who just wants something simple and familiar. The seller describes it as a great little car, and that phrase fits perfectly here. This is the kind of vehicle you buy not because it's trendy or collectible, but because it works. Mechanically, the car is in solid shape, with the seller openly disclosing the few flaws it has, which actually adds to the credibility of the listing. The radio hood latch has been relocated to the grille, and the fuel gauge isn't always accurate, which are typical quirks for a car of this age rather than major red flags. The air conditioning does work, though it's slightly low on charge, requiring a recharge once or twice during the summer months. Again, very normal for an older system that's still functioning. Cruise control works, the tires are in good condition, and overall the car is presented as something you could get in and drive without drama. Even better, it comes with an Indiana title in the seller's name, which simplifies the buying process and avoids paperwork headaches. This Ford Tempo isn't pretending to be anything it's not. It's a straightforward, affordable sedan that still has life left in it, ideal for someone who values practicality, nostalgia, or simply wants a cheap, running car they don't have to worry about babying. Number 2. The 1993 Ford Mustang LX 2.3L Foxbody is a completely different kind of story, one that speaks directly to project car enthusiasts and Foxbody fans who appreciate potential more than perfection. Listed for $3,000 OBO in the Bronx, New York, this black over gray Mustang has 160,000 miles and an automatic transmission, and while it's not a pristine example, it's very clearly a car that has been actively maintained and improved rather than neglected. The seller originally intended to keep upgrading it, and that effort shows in the long list of new parts that have already been installed, including a new alternator, ignition coils and wires, spark plugs, shocks, brake pads, radiator, coolant hoses, AC lines, and even a modern radio system paired with new JBL speakers. These aren't cosmetic band-aids, they're functional upgrades meant to keep the car reliable and usable. The car runs and drives, and the seller explains that earlier issues were caused by cold weather and lack of winter use rather than serious mechanical failure, which has since been resolved. The roof is functional as well, with hydraulics topped up and old pistons replaced, and even the interior has seen thoughtful improvements like a new center console with cup holders from LMR, while still including the original console for anyone who prefers stock. It features a GT body kit, though it is missing one fog light, and the airbag warning light is on, a known and common issue with these Foxbody Mustangs, not the result of deployment. The seller is upfront about rust being present, which is expected for a Northeast Foxbody of this era and price range. What really makes this listing compelling is that the seller is willing to include any additional spare parts they have at no extra cost, making this an even better starting point for a project build. This isn't a finished show car, it's a running, driving foundation with many expensive maintenance items already handled, perfect for someone who wants to shape a Foxbody into their own vision without starting from scratch. Number 3. The 1977 Cadillac Fleetwood sedan is a classic full-size American luxury car that instantly transports you back to a time when comfort, presence, and effortless cruising mattered more than fuel economy or compact dimensions. Offered for $3,200 in Howell, New Jersey, this green-on-green Fleetwood shows just 45,000 miles, an impressively low figure for a vehicle that's nearly half a century old. It's described as a true turnkey car, running, driving, and ready to go, which is something you don't hear often with classics at this price point. According to the seller, the car is in excellent shape, with no leaks of any kind, no rust or rot, and everything functioning as it should, including power windows and power locks. That alone sets it apart, as electrical issues are often the downfall of vintage luxury sedans. The car has new tires and new brakes, reinforcing the idea that it's been properly maintained rather than parked and forgotten. Perhaps most impressively, the seller confidently states that it cruises at 70 miles per hour on the parkway without any problems, which speaks volumes about the drivetrain's health and overall roadworthiness. This Fleetwood isn't just a static classic, it's meant to be driven, enjoyed, and experienced the way Cadillac originally intended. The seller is looking to move on to something different and invites serious buyers to reach out directly by phone, suggesting this is a straightforward, no-nonsense sale. For anyone who has ever wanted to experience classic American luxury without paying collector car prices, this 1977 Cadillac Fleetwood offers an unusually clean, honest, and usable opportunity. Number 4. The 1978 Dodge Magnum XE stands out as one of those late 1970s American cars that blends bold styling with an unmistakable muscle-era attitude, even as the automotive world was changing rapidly. Listed at $3,500 and located in West Milford, New Jersey, this red exterior paired with a white interior immediately gives off strong vintage presence. The car has 103,000 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission, making it approachable for drivers who want classic looks without the learning curve of older manual setups. While the listing itself is brief and leaves room for questions, that simplicity can also be appealing. It suggests a straightforward sale rather than a long list of hidden surprises. The Dodge Magnum has become increasingly appreciated for its unique design, especially compared to more common classics, and the XE trim adds to its character. Cars like this often attract buyers who want something different from the usual Mustangs and Camaros, something that turns heads simply because people don't see them anymore. At this price point, the Magnum XE represents an accessible entry into vintage American cars, whether as a weekend cruiser, a light restoration project, or just something fun and distinctive to own. Sometimes it's not about having every detail spelled out. It's about the car's presence, its era, and the potential it holds for the right buyer. Number 5. The 1976 Pontiac Ventura is a rare find for anyone looking for a classic American project car that still runs well and retains much of its original charm. Priced at $4,500 and located in Queens Village, New York, this gray exterior over blue interior Ventura has just 34,000 kilometers on the odometer, which translates to remarkably low usage for a car of its age. With only 2 owners, an automatic transmission, and a clean title, it already checks several important boxes for a classic car buyer. The seller describes the car as being in good condition for its year, which is an honest and realistic assessment, and mentions that it needs 1 new tire, though all 4 currently hold air. The car runs well and is available for a test drive, which is always a positive sign and shows confidence in its mechanical condition. Under the hood is a 260 V8 engine, giving it that classic Pontiac character and making it a solid foundation for either preservation or performance upgrades. The interior is reported to be in good condition and already features a modern radio, blending vintage style with everyday usability. Additionally, the seller offers to include 2 extra L6014 wheels with larger tires, adding extra value and flexibility for the next owner. The reason for sale is simple and relatable. The seller is moving to another state, making this feel like a genuine opportunity rather than a forced sale. For someone searching for a classic American car that can be enjoyed now and improved over time, this 1976 Pontiac Ventura offers a compelling mix of originality, usability, and project potential. Number 6. If you grew up in the era when muscle cars still carried real attitude, the 1985 Pontiac Trans Am instantly brings back a very specific feeling, and this particular example from Ansonia, Connecticut captures that spirit in a way that's getting harder to find every year. Priced at just $5,000, this red Trans Am isn't just a car, it's a rolling piece of 1980s Americana, showing 82,000 miles and still running strong with its automatic transmission and gasoline-powered drivetrain. What makes this car especially appealing is the fact that everything remains original, a detail that matters deeply to collectors and enthusiasts who understand how rare it is to find a Trans Am that hasn't been modified, stripped, or heavily altered over the decades. The exterior wears its red paint proudly, drawing attention everywhere it goes, while the silver interior adds a bold contrast that feels unmistakably period correct. Features like power seats and power windows remind you that this car was designed to be both sporty and comfortable, and the removable T-top roof panels deliver that open-air driving experience that made Trans Ams legendary on summer roads. The seller mentions new tires, which means one of the first major expenses is already taken care of, and more importantly, the car runs great, making it a vehicle you can enjoy immediately rather than one that needs constant repairs right out of the gate. There's an honest acknowledgement that the interior needs a little TLC, which actually works in favor of the buyer, because it means you're not paying a premium for cosmetic perfection, and you have the freedom to restore or preserve it according to your own taste. Being a second-owner car adds another layer of credibility, suggesting it hasn't passed through countless hands or been abused. The reason for sale is straightforward and relatable. The owner is moving to Arizona and simply doesn't need the car anymore. That kind of motivation often leads to fair pricing, and at this number, you're getting a head-turning classic that still commands attention wherever it goes. Whether you're a longtime Pontiac fan, someone looking for an affordable entry into classic American performance, or just a driver who wants something with real personality instead of modern blandness, this 1985 Trans Am stands as a reminder of a time when cars were loud, proud, and unapologetically cool. Number 7. The 1992 Ford Tempo GL may not scream performance or luxury, but what it offers instead is something many modern cars struggle to deliver: honest reliability, simplicity, and a well-documented history, all for an asking price of $5,000. Located in Chesapeake City, Maryland, this four-door sedan represents an era when cars were built to be straightforward transportation without unnecessary complexity. Powered by a 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine and paired with an automatic transmission, this Tempo was designed for dependable daily driving, and with just 102,681 miles on the odometer, it still has plenty of life left. One of the strongest selling points here is ownership and documentation, as the seller is only the second owner and has kept all records, a detail that adds significant peace of mind for any buyer who values transparency and maintenance history. The exterior is finished in deep jewel green pearl metallic, a color that was distinctive in the early 1990s and still stands out today in a sea of grayscale modern vehicles, while the gray interior keeps things clean, neutral, and easy to maintain. Practicality shines through with tires in great shape, working air conditioning and heater, and a clean title, all of which suggest this car has been cared for rather than neglected. The seller describes it as very reliable, and that's exactly the reputation the Tempo earned when it was new, serving families, commuters, and first-time drivers who needed a car that simply worked day after day. This isn't a project car or a nostalgic showpiece. It's a functional, honest vehicle that can be driven immediately without drama. Offered for $5,000 or best offer, cash only, this Tempo is ideal for someone who values low ownership costs, ease of maintenance, and proven dependability over flashy features. In a world where newer cars are packed with electronics that can be expensive to fix, this 1992 Ford Tempo GL stands as a reminder that sometimes the best car is the one that starts every morning, keeps you comfortable in any season, and quietly does its job without asking for attention. Number 8. The 1980 Chevrolet Chevette is one of those cars that quietly slipped into history, only to resurface decades later as a genuinely interesting and increasingly rare classic. And this example from Pontiac, New York shows exactly why enthusiasts are starting to look at these cars in a new light. Priced at $5,900, this blue Chevette is described as a very cool car and a rare find, and with only 40,050 original miles, it's hard to argue otherwise. Produced between 1976 and 1987, the Chevette was General Motors' direct response to the oil crisis of the 1970s, designed to be lightweight, fuel-efficient, and affordable at a time when American drivers were rethinking what they wanted from a car. This hatchback layout adds practicality, while the black interior keeps things simple and functional. Under the hood sits a high-output 1.6-liter four-cylinder engine, modest by today's standards but perfectly suited to the car's lightweight design. What truly elevates the Chevette's appeal among enthusiasts is its reputation in the drag racing world, where it has become popular due to how easy it is to perform engine swaps, including V8 conversions, turning this humble economy car into something wildly unexpected. Even if you have no intention of modifying it, the originality and low mileage alone make this Chevette a standout, especially for collectors who appreciate overlooked classics. The seller emphasizes how affordable it is as a classic car, and that's a key point, because cars from this era are becoming more expensive every year, while vehicles like the Chevette still offer an accessible entry point into vintage ownership. With its blue exterior, manual transmission, and remarkably low mileage, this 1980 Chevrolet Chevette represents a unique blend of history, potential, and nostalgia, proving that not all classics need to be flashy or powerful to be truly interesting. Number 9. When you think of early 1980s American comfort, the 1981 Buick LeSabre is one of the first cars that comes to mind, and this particular example from Staten Island, New York takes that reputation to another level. Offered at $6,000 or best offer, this LeSabre shows just 30,700 miles and has had only one owner, a combination that immediately sets it apart from most vehicles of its age. Finished in blue on the exterior, this car carries itself with a quiet dignity, reflecting Buick's long-standing focus on smooth rides, spacious interiors, and understated elegance. With an automatic transmission and a gasoline engine, the driving experience is exactly what you would expect from a LeSabre: comfortable, relaxed, and effortless, designed to make long drives feel easy rather than demanding. The seller describes the car as being in beautiful condition, and the extremely low mileage supports that claim, suggesting it was driven sparingly and likely well cared for over the years. One-owner cars are increasingly rare, especially from this era, and they often indicate consistent maintenance and a lack of abuse, making them highly desirable to collectors and buyers alike. This is the kind of car that appeals to someone who appreciates classic American sedans, the kind built before downsizing and digital dashboards became the norm. At this price point, you're not just buying transportation, you're buying a preserved piece of automotive history that represents Buick's golden age of comfort and reliability. Whether you're looking for a weekend cruiser, a nostalgic daily driver, or a low-mileage classic to preserve for years to come, this 1981 Buick LeSabre offers a level of originality and condition that's becoming harder to find. Number 10. Rounding out the list is a true performance icon, the 1995 Chevy Camaro Z28, offered for $6,000 in West Orange, New Jersey, and representing one of the most recognizable American muscle cars of the 1990s. With just 71,000 miles, this Camaro has been owned by a single owner, never smoked in, garage kept, and maintained in a way that clearly shows pride of ownership. The clean title adds reassurance, while the brand new tires mean it's ready to be driven immediately without additional expense. The Z28 badge carries weight, symbolizing a higher performance trim that delivered strong V8 power and aggressive styling, making the Camaro a serious contender on the street and a favorite among enthusiasts. This car runs great with no issues, according to the seller, which is exactly what buyers want to hear when considering a performance vehicle from this era. The fact that it was garage kept suggests the exterior and interior have been protected from the elements, helping preserve both appearance and mechanical condition. Offered for $6,000 or best offer, cash only, this Camaro represents an increasingly rare opportunity to own a clean, unmodified, one-owner Z28 at an accessible price. In today's market, where modern performance cars often come with high costs and complex technology, this 1995 Camaro delivers raw, straightforward driving excitement that feels authentic and engaging. For anyone who grew up admiring Camaros or wants a muscle car that still feels connected to the road, this Z28 stands as a reminder of why American performance cars earned their legendary status in the first place. Number 11. This 1979 Chevrolet Malibu Classic is the kind of car that quietly pulls you in the longer you look at it, because beneath its bright yellow exterior and clean two-door lines is a story that speaks directly to old-school American muscle culture, backyard builds, and the era when cars were meant to be driven, worked on, and enjoyed without apology. Listed at just $6,300 and located in Piscataway, New Jersey, this Malibu presents itself as a straightforward, no-nonsense machine with only 1,000 miles showing, paired with an automatic transmission that keeps it accessible and easy to drive for just about anyone. The yellow paint gives it a bold, confident presence, the kind that instantly stands out at a gas station or cruising down the street, and it perfectly matches the classic Malibu body that so many enthusiasts still love for its clean proportions and sleeper potential. Under the skin, this car is far from stock. It's running a 355 small-block Chevy, a proven and respected setup that offers strong performance without sacrificing reliability, making it ideal for street use or weekend fun. Power is sent through a turbo 350 transmission, here referred to as a Ziggy transmission, which is known for being tough, simple, and capable of handling real torque when built correctly. Out back, a 411 rear gear gives this Malibu an aggressive personality, providing quick acceleration and that unmistakable muscle car feel when you step on the throttle. The chrome rally wheels finish off the look, tying together the classic Chevy aesthetic with a touch of shine that complements the yellow exterior beautifully. Importantly, this is not a project that needs to be trailered everywhere. The seller clearly states that the car runs and drives, which already puts it ahead of many listings in this price range. It's being offered in a very direct, old-school way as well, with the seller asking serious buyers to text the number on the ad for more information, reinforcing the idea that this is a real car for real enthusiasts, not a polished showroom piece with a long sales pitch. Overall, this Malibu represents an affordable entry into the classic Chevy world, blending vintage looks, solid performance upgrades, and usability into one package that feels honest, mechanical, and ready to be enjoyed by someone who appreciates what these cars were always meant to be. Number 12. This 1941 Pontiac straight-8 coupe is a rare and fascinating blend of pre-war American design and post-war hot rod engineering, offering a level of character that simply cannot be replicated by modern cars or even most restored classics. Priced at $6,500 and located in West Milford, New Jersey, this coupe carries the weight of history in its steel, having traveled approximately 70,000 miles over its long life, and it stands as a testament to how these early American cars were built to last. Originally designed with Pontiac's legendary straight-8 heritage in mind, this particular example has been thoughtfully transformed into a V8-powered cruiser, now running a GM 350 V8 with a 4-bolt main, a setup widely respected for its strength and durability. That engine is paired with a GM Turbo 350 automatic transmission, cleverly hooked up to the original column shifter, preserving the vintage driving experience while benefiting from modern mechanical reliability. Finished in a deep burgundy exterior with a black interior, the car maintains a classic understated elegance that fits its 1940s roots, while subtle upgrades bring it firmly into hot rod territory. The fuel type remains gasoline, keeping things simple and traditional. Mechanically, the car retains its original brakes and suspension, which speaks to how solid the underlying structure still is, further supported by the seller's claim that there is no rust or rot on the frame or suspension, a critical detail for any vehicle of this age. The exhaust system is particularly interesting, featuring dual exhaust that can be run out the rear for a more conventional look or opened out the side for a more aggressive, period-correct hot rod sound and appearance. Rolling on American racing mags, the stance feels right, blending classic aftermarket style with the coupe's flowing pre-war lines. Inside, the interior is finished in naugahyde, durable and appropriate for a car that's meant to be driven rather than hidden away, and the trunk is solid, further reinforcing the overall integrity of the body. Some parts, including the bumper and grille, have been removed and are shown on the floor and in the trunk, purely to help squeeze the car into a garage, not because they are missing or discarded. The seller explains that the car was purchased several years ago, originally paying $11,000 and having it flatbed down from Connecticut, and confirms that it ran fine at the time. Unfortunately, life and logistics got in the way, storage was lost, the car was posted before but the seller was too busy to show it, and now paperwork and the key cannot be found. Still, for the right buyer, these are manageable hurdles, especially since the car can be hot-wired, making this an opportunity for someone who understands old cars and isn't afraid of a little hands-on work. Taken as a whole, this 1941 Pontiac coupe is not just a vehicle, but a rolling piece of American automotive history, offering immense character, solid bones, and huge potential for the enthusiast who sees beyond surface details and understands just how rare it is to find something like this at this price point. Number 13. What you're looking at here is not a polished show car pretending to be something it isn't, but a very honest, heavily worked-on 1964 Ford Falcon that reflects years of ownership, hands-on effort, and real mechanical care. This Falcon is located in Pequannock, New Jersey, offered at $7,000 for the car with the motor, or $6,000 firm for the car alone without the engine, and the seller is clear that they will not respond to generic, "Is it still available?" messages. The car shows 189,000 miles, which tells a story of actual use rather than storage, but it also explains why so much attention has been given to keeping it running strong and reliable. Under the hood sits a 200 cubic inch inline-six, an engine known more for durability than drama, and while it does burn a bit of oil, it does not smoke or drip and still runs strong. It's paired with a T5 manual transmission sourced from a 1982 four-cylinder Mustang, a popular swap that offers better drivability and highway manners, and while this setup isn't meant for drag racing or hard launches, it performs well for normal driving and cruising. A new clutch and throwout bearing were installed, and the exhaust system has been completely redone with headers and glass packs, giving the car a sound that surprises most people by mimicking the tone of a V8. Mechanically, the list of replaced parts is extensive and reflects a mindset of preventative maintenance rather than waiting for failures. Battery, spark plugs and wires, starter solenoid, a new old stock distributor with cap and rotor, fuel pump, rubber fuel lines, ignition coil, electronic points, oil and filter, battery cables, starter, ground cables, rear main seal, oil pan gasket, oil pump and drive rod, timing chain and gears, crank pulley and balancer, water pump, radiator flush and cleaning, thermostat, alternator belt, radiator hoses, carburetor, and fuel pressure regulator. Inside, the car has been refreshed with racing seats, new carpeting, a newly upholstered rear seat, and a long list of smaller but meaningful updates such as new door and trunk seals, still boxed, hood bumpers, a Hurst shifter and boot, a new steering wheel, ignition switch and keys, door and trunk locks with matching keys, and nearly all dash bulbs replaced, excluding the generator light since the car has been converted to an alternator. The audio system has also been updated with a new aftermarket radio replacing the older unit, along with new speakers and wiring, and even functional details like the horn and heater system have been addressed. The heater box was removed, rebuilt, repainted, and reinstalled with new hoses. The suspension and underbody haven't been ignored either, with new shocks, repaired rear frame rail ends under the trunk, a patched and repainted trunk floor, new trunk mat, new gas tank and sending unit, traction bars added for appearance, fortified shackles, new tires, and classic aluminum slotted mags that fit the car's character. Additional uninstalled parts such as a dash trim kit, tachometer, and barefoot-style gas pedal are included, showing that the project was ongoing rather than abandoned. Cosmetically, the car is upfront about its flaws: rust in the rear quarters, one front fender area, the bottom of a door, and around the cowl air intakes, along with visible patina. It's described accurately as no prom queen, but the underside remains solid, making it a viable foundation rather than a rot box. As a bonus, the seller also has a 302 V8 with 350 heads and a mildly modified cam, showing about 30,000 miles and currently mid-build, along with V8 swap components like a radiator, bell housing, and hydraulic clutch kit, making this Falcon an appealing platform for someone considering a future V8 conversion. Overall, this is a well-documented driver-grade classic with character, mechanical investment, and clear expectations, offered because the owner has too many projects and changing personal circumstances, not because the car is failing or neglected. Number 14. This 1975 Pontiac Catalina four-door sedan, located in Bayside, New York, represents a different side of classic car ownership, one focused on comfort, presence, and dependable cruising rather than constant wrenching. Priced at $7,500, this Catalina shows 52,550 miles traveled, a relatively modest figure for a full-size American sedan of this era, and it's paired with an automatic transmission, making it easy and relaxed to drive. Finished in a standout shade often described as whiskey orange or tangerine, the exterior has the kind of bold 1970s personality that modern cars simply don't attempt anymore, and it's complemented by a tan interior that fits the period perfectly. Under the hood is a Pontiac 400 cubic inch V8 equipped with a 4-barrel carburetor, an engine well known for its torque, smooth power delivery, and unmistakable sound, making this Catalina feel exactly like a full-size Pontiac should. According to the seller, the car starts every time and everything works as it should, which is often the most important statement you can make about a classic car intended to be driven rather than displayed. Recent maintenance includes a new radiator, exhaust repairs, and confirmation that both heat and air conditioning are fully functional, a significant advantage for a car meant to be used year-round or on longer trips. Like most vehicles of its age, it isn't entirely free of imperfections, but the issues are described as minor and manageable: a small rust area in the driver's floor pan and a small rust bubble on a door, visible in photos. These are not structural red flags but typical age-related concerns that many buyers would consider acceptable, especially given the car's overall condition and usability. The Catalina also comes with a clean title in the seller's name, eliminating paperwork headaches and adding confidence to the transaction. What makes this car appealing is its honesty. It isn't over-restored, heavily modified, or misrepresented. Instead, it offers a solid drivable example of a mid-1970s American sedan with real road presence, a big V8, and the kind of comfort that made these cars popular when they were new. For someone looking to enjoy classic motoring without constantly chasing small issues, this Catalina presents a straightforward opportunity to own a large, distinctive, and functional piece of Pontiac history. Number 15. The 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass listed here, located in Huntington Station, New York, is a clean, straightforward muscle-era survivor that blends late 1970s style with practical performance upgrades. Priced at $7,500, this Cutlass is powered by a 4.3-liter Oldsmobile V8, paired with a 700 R4 automatic transmission, a combination that offers both classic V8 character and improved drivability thanks to the overdrive gearing. The drivetrain is backed by a 3.73 Posey rear end, giving the car strong off-the-line response while still being capable of cruising comfortably, making it well-suited for both casual driving and weekend enjoyment. The seller highlights that the car has received new rims, tires, and brakes, which are three of the most important updates for safety, handling, and overall driving confidence, especially on an older vehicle. While the listing is brief and to the point, that simplicity can be appealing in itself. There's no inflated story, no exaggerated claims, just a clear presentation of what the car is and what it offers. The seller also makes it clear that default or generic, "Is this available?" messages will be ignored, signaling a preference for serious buyers who have actually read the listing and understand what's being offered. The Cutlass name carries weight, representing one of Oldsmobile's most successful and recognizable models, and by 1978 it had settled into a balanced role as a comfortable, stylish coupe with enough performance to remain engaging without the excess of earlier muscle cars. This particular example benefits from sensible mechanical choices rather than extreme modifications, making it accessible to a wide range of buyers, from someone new to classics to a seasoned enthusiast looking for a solid, usable car. In short, this Cutlass offers classic American V8 appeal, tasteful upgrades, and a fair asking price, wrapped in a package that's ready to be driven and enjoyed rather than endlessly explained or justified.